Here is Acosta then in third place. He's not got that podium secured yet, though. Aldeguer is catching him.
Acosta's in serious trouble here, clinging on to his first podium of the season, potentially being taken away from a Spanish rookie.
Coming round there on Acosta as he flicks it left down towards the right of La Chapelle, and Fermin Aldeguer crawling all over the back of Acosta. You can see he's able to hold it so much tighter than that KTM, and he just drives past him on the way out of turn 6. Pedro Acosta takes 4th place, just did not have anything for Fermin Aldeguer in those latter stages. 4 and 5 for KTM.
Acosta's on a really good launch away from 7th place on the grid. The factory KTM rider, you can see him there already in 4th. He's slotted right in behind Quartararo. Acosta then now eases onto the inside. He just got on the wrong side of the white line there, the Frenchman.
Yeah,
Acosta clearly has come through. Did he have something go wrong on the exit of turn 3 and 4? The S is through there. What is going on here with Bagnaia?
There's now Marc Marquez is that going wide. Marc Marquez has lost the lead.
And here goes Marc Marquez on that flip-flop through the S's. It is 11, it's heaven for Marc Marquez in the sprints in 2025. He takes the checkered flag by nearly 0.8 of a second ahead of Pedro Acosta after all of the drama. Acosta now fires the KTM on the inside of Bagnaia. Job done as far as the Spaniard is concerned on the brakes into turn 3. So now Acosta on course for what would just be his second double podium. Pedro Acosta, for just the second time in MotoGP, does complete a dream double podium. This happened in qualifying yesterday. Monumental get-off for Pedro Acosta. And of course, a thumbs up from our brilliant camera operator Joao, who met Pedro Acosta late on. That was a real big scare, wasn't it, as that factory KTM went barrel rolling at high speed through what is a very long gravel trap.
Look at the KTMs attacking. Acosta and Bastianini going either side of Marini.
Acosta has got through into 3rd place on Morbidelli, who just has not got the pace to go with the 2 ahead of him. Acosta then does move up into 3rd place. Acosta using just the brute power of the KTM down the start-finish straight. An excellent 7th a second for the fighting Pedro Acosta.
It's KTM versus KTM, and Bastianini's just going to park it on the inside of the 37. Can the 23 get it stopped just ahead of Pedro Acosta? Bastianini does, and he's now staring potentially at the first KTM podium. Could he improve on that yet?
Bounce back in Barcelona for Alex Marquez, who takes the victory here in the Catalonia Grand Prix. Pedro Acosta, he does hold on for 4th place. Lights out, and we're racing here in Mandalika. Underway we go. The Marco Bezzecchi's gains from pole position, and another shocking sight. He's going backwards once again, but it's Pedro Acosta that leads from Luca Marini in 2nd. Here is Aldeguer then in the top left-hand corner of your picture, taking the lead of this Grand Prix for the first time. He's got the job done up at turn 10. The KTM's the fastest Grand Prix motorcycle in history, with a bit of slipstream into turn 1. Acosta surely is going to go in that little bit hot. Now these two have got previous. These two have history, don't they? And here comes Marini darting to the inside line there through turn 12. That is the textbook move through that 3rd gear left-hander. Acosta immediately tries to fight back. Acosta doing a really good job, isn't he, here, as Marini once again. Well, he's made this move once before, a couple of laps ago, going into turn 12. And Acosta, this time around, Marini goes ultra defensive.
Yeah, and
now Ralph Fernandez charges through on Acosta. That's very briefly up into 3rd place.
And Acosta's going to come back at this surely up the inside of Marini, who has to try and jump out of the way. Marini knows he's faster here, but Acosta's just not letting it go.
You could just see Acosta there was using his peripheral vision. You could just see a tilt to his right with the head there, as he was just making sure that there was enough room between himself and Marini. Alex Marquez pings it on the inside of Acosta into turn 10. Acosta desperately trying to fight back.
Pedro Acosta is just not letting him rest on this. He's definitely going to come on the inside. Of course he is. Acosta's not going to give this 2nd place up.
Phenomenal Fermin Aldeguer here in the Grand Prix of Indonesia. Huge credit goes to Pedro Acosta, who had to fight so hard for 2nd.
Alex Marquez, Miller and Acosta. Acosta might take the pair of them here. It did cost Bezzecchi a 2nd. He's now 1.1 behind. Acosta takes 2 into 1, and he's now up into the podium position.
Oh, Miller, that's brave. That is super brave. It's been a Bezzecchi blitz here, though, in Phillip Island. Over 3 seconds clear of Ralph Hernandez. Pedro Acosta, once again, is the king of the defence, isn't he? He holds on for the bronze medal despite intense late pressure from Jack Miller and the Gian Antonio. Lights out, and we're racing in the sprint then here in Portimao. A bit of a wheelie from Pedro Acosta and from Pecco Bagnaia from 4th place on the grid. This is where Acosta made so many class moves, but Acosta leads the sprint here in Portimao. Acosta had a bit of a moment there, didn't he, on the gas. He got a bit of a slide on the rear tyre. That's allowed Alex then with the momentum.
He's got to attack straight away. Costa straight back up the inside of Alex Marquez. He knows if he gives Alex Marquez some clear tarmac, he might well scamper clear. Acosta wants to keep him as close as he can.
As they drop down into turn 5, he has got the inside line. Can he cut it to the inside curve? He can. This is brilliant. This is one of the best sprints we've had of 2025 so far. Over the crest, into the slipstream goes Alex. Oh, how close do you want him, MotoGP? And Alex Marquez once again seizes back the lead here. He was thinking, well, if Acosta's going to come through, goes down, attacks again down into turn 5. It's almost a block pass. He parks the KTM in the middle of the corner. Alex Marquez almost makes contact. And once again, Alex Marquez levels him in the braking zone. Acosta can't turn in. And we've seen this move, haven't we, 2 or 3 times already in this sprint. Acosta, though, now goes side by side through turn 2. Door slam shut once again. 73 versus 37. Look how defensive Alex Marquez goes. Alex Marquez takes the victory by just over 1/10 of a second from Pedro Acosta. It's lights out, we're racing in MotoGP here in the Grand Prix of Portugal. Pedro Acosta on the KTM has made a lightning start, as he so often does, going down into the first corner. Bezzecchi, though, toughs it out on the brakes, just drops across the nose of the Spaniard. And Alex Marquez goes side by side in this tricky downhill braking zone with Acosta. It's a lovely, lovely move. Marquez then does indeed hold on to 2nd place ahead of Pedro Acosta, who had great late race pace. Acosta on the podium for the 3rd time. We're racing in our final sprint of 2025 here in Valencia. Already Acosta trying to power his way through on the Gian Antonio, who's going the wrong way on the VR46 Ducati. Already picked up by fellow Fabio Quartararo. Acosta's been super aggressive. Got the inside line on Bezzecchi. Around the outside of Bez goes Ralph Hernandez, but it's Alex Marquez who leads. Acosta's gained 3 spots up to 2nd. Alex Marquez finishes it on top of the sprint podium here in Valencia. He takes the checker flag, 1.1 seconds clear of Pedro Acosta, who is on the podium for the 5th time in the last 6 sprints. On board then now with Acosta. We go through the right-hander of turn 10, and now he's going to seize that inside line under Gian Antonio. Gian Antonio reversing the wrong way, isn't he, early on in this Grand Prix. Acosta now picks him off for 4th. He's going to try and go for the inside line. He through on the inside of Alex Marquez. He goes. Alex, you know, is going to try and fight immediately back. Acosta goes super defensive as they run into turn 5. So here comes the Gian Antonio. Here comes the move. Into turn 4 we go. Acosta tries to lean on the Italian. No way back through into turn 5. Bez wins the final Grand Prix of the season. Pedro Acosta, well, once again, he fought such a great fight for. Absolutely phenomenal.